Imagine working your whole life only to feel like the ground is shifting under your feet. It is now early 2026, and the world feels faster and more expensive than ever before. You have played by the rules for decades, but the bank account balance stays the same while the cost of living climbs higher. You feel a heavy weight in your chest when you look at the news or check your banking application. Picture a powerful giant who could lift mountains and move rivers. This giant represents your financial potential and your ability to build a legacy. One night, while he slept, tiny creatures crept up and wrapped thousands of thin threads around his arms and legs. When he woke, he laughed because the threads were so small and delicate, but he soon realized that while each thread was weak together, they held him down completely. He spent all his strength fighting those tiny threads instead of building his kingdom. This is exactly what your life feels like when it is cluttered with unnecessary expenses and mental noise. Every tiny subscription and every piece of junk you do not need is a thread holding your financial giant down. Today, we are going to cut those threads one by one until you are free. I am going to share 20 minimalist rules that will transform your relationship with money forever. Before we dive into the first rule, take a moment to subscribe to this channel and hit the like button. If you are ready to reclaim your financial power and stop the bleeding, comment the words "Less is more" down below. By engaging with this community, you are telling yourself and the world that you are ready for a different path. Now let us look at the first rule to set you free. Rule number 1 is to eliminate toxic debts immediately and without mercy. Most people wonder why they work so hard but never get ahead. The answer is that they are carrying invisible chains that steal their strength before they even step out the door. In this year of 2026, interest rates have become a silent predator. High-interest credit cards and unnecessary car loans are financial vampires bleeding your future self dry. Your freedom starts when you stop struggling against the air and start cutting each thread with laser focus. Pay off your credit cards with the highest interest first, and then tackle anything that charges you a high price to stay poor. Every dollar you pay in interest is a dollar stolen from your retirement. Rule number 2 is to simplify your personal finances until they are crystal clear. Having money scattered across 10 different accounts and 5 banking applications does not make you sophisticated. It makes you confused and vulnerable to hidden fees. Think of a farmer who dug 10 shallow wells, thinking more wells meant more water. He spent all day running between them and ended up exhausted, with very little water to show for his effort. His neighbor dug just one deep well in the center of his property. All his water came from one reliable and deep source. He always knew exactly how much he had and how much he could use. When you can see your entire financial picture in 5 minutes, you make better decisions. Keep one main checking account and one savings account and automate everything possible. Rule number 3 is to plan every single purchase at least 48 hours in advance. Most people lose money because they buy things to satisfy a temporary emotion. Every impulse purchase is a stolen arrow from your quiver that could have hunted for your future. A wise hunter moves quietly through the forest and waits for the perfect moment to strike. When he finally shoots his arrow, it is deliberate and precise, and it brings food to the table. Stop shooting at shadows in the marketplace. Write down what you want and wait 2 full days before you pull the trigger. Often, you will find that the desire has vanished by the time the sun sets on the second day. Rule number 4 is to use a formal waiting list for your deep desires. Most of what you think you need right now will feel completely unnecessary in 30 days. There was once a merchant who bought every exotic fabric and spice he saw in the market. His home was filled with objects he never touched, and his gold disappeared into the hands of others. His neighbor would write down his desires in a small notebook and walk away for a month. 30 days later, most of those items no longer seemed important or even attractive. The second merchant was the master of his desires, while the first was a slave to his impulses. Patience is the most powerful wealth-building tool you possess. Rule number 5 is to invest in quality over quantity in every area of your life. Cheap things cost much more in the long run because you have to replace them twice or even 3 times. Think of 2 carpenters starting their businesses on the same day. The first bought the cheapest tools he could find because he wanted to save his coins. Within 6 months, his hammer broke and his saw blade bent, and he had to buy them again. The second carpenter invested in professional-grade tools that lasted 5 years without failing. The expensive tools allowed him to build a legacy, while the cheap ones kept the first man in a cycle of poverty. Buy items that are built to last a lifetime, and you will only have to pay for them once. Rule number 6 is to keep your home environment simple and clean. Your physical environment controls your mind more than you realize. A chaotic home creates a chaotic mindset that leads to poor and rushed financial choices. Imagine 2 blacksmiths working in the same village. One worked in a shop buried under scrap metal and old blueprints and piles of dust. He spent hours every day searching for basic tools, and his work suffered as a result. The second blacksmith kept his workshop spotless, and every tool had its specific place. He worked with absolute efficiency and could complete 3 times as much work. The organized blacksmith earned more trust and more wealth because his mind was clear and focused. Rule number 7 is to build a functional and minimalist wardrobe. Every morning, you make dozens of decisions, and each one drains your limited mental energy. Choosing what to wear should not be an energy-wasting decision that leaves you tired before work. Think of a soldier who owned just 3 identical uniforms and 2 pairs of sturdy boots. He dressed in 2 minutes without thinking and saved all his energy for the strategic battle ahead. Another soldier had a closet full of different colors and styles and belts. By the time he finished dressing, he was already mentally exhausted and late for his duty. Quality basics that match everything will save your brain for the decisions that actually build your bank account. Rule number 8 is to limit your information intake and avoid the noise. In this year of 2026, information overload is the new form of poverty. When your mind is flooded with news and random opinions, you lose the ability to think for yourself. Choose 3 trusted sources of information and ignore everything else. Every piece of junk information you consume takes space away from valuable and creative thoughts. A clear mind is a wealthy mind because it can see opportunities that others miss. Rule number 9 is to reduce your technology dependencies and reclaim your skills. Technology should serve you and not become your master. Think of a fisherman who relied entirely on global positioning systems and electronic fish finders. One day his battery died, and he was left helpless in the middle of a vast ocean. Another fisherman learned to read the patterns of the wind and the currents of the water. He used simple tools, but he knew his craft so deeply that he never failed to find his way home. Turn off non-essential notifications and learn to function independently of your digital gadgets. True wealth is the ability to survive and thrive even when the power goes out. Rule number 10 is to reduce empty social commitments that drain your spirit. Your time is more valuable than gold because you can never earn more of it. Every boring dinner party or meaningless meeting steals hours you could use to grow your soul or your business. Learn to say no with kindness to invitations that do not bring you real joy or serve your long-term goals. Quality relationships beat a wide network of superficial acquaintances every single time. Protect your time as if your life depends on it, because it truly does. Rule number 11 is to maintain only high-value and supportive relationships. Spend your time with people who challenge you to grow and who support your vision for the future. Avoid the energy vampires who only take your time and never give anything back. 5 high-quality friends who inspire you will build more wealth for you than 50 casual acquaintances. Your net worth is often a reflection of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose your inner circle with the same care you use to choose an investment. Rule number 12 is to control your mornings with intention. How you start your day determines exactly how you will end it. Most people wake up and immediately react to emails and social media alerts. This keeps them in a state of chaos and makes them easy to manipulate. Create a morning routine that puts you in charge before the world demands your attention. Exercise your body and plan your priorities in the silence of the early hours. When you own your morning, you own your day and your future. Rule number 13 is to embrace the power of routine. Smart people know that a good routine is not a prison, but a path to absolute freedom. When your important actions become automatic, you do not waste willpower on basic choices. Build routines for your work and your exercise and your financial planning. Routine allows your mind to focus on the big picture, while your habits handle the small details. Structure is the foundation upon which freedom is built. Rule number 14 is to master your calendar and guard it fiercely. What is not scheduled on your calendar usually does not happen. If you do not plan your time intentionally, other people will fill it with their own priorities. Schedule your income-generating work and your learning time before anything else. Protect that time like it is a precious treasure, because it is your most valuable asset. A master of time is a master of life. Rule number 15 is to set no more than 3 clear annual priorities. Focus creates wealth, while distraction creates poverty and frustration. Think of 2 farmers living on identical plots of land. The first farmer tried to grow 20 different types of crops all at once. None of them received enough attention, and they all withered in the sun. The second farmer chose only 3 crops and mastered their needs completely. His harvest was so large and high in quality that he became the wealthiest man in the village. Choose your 3 major financial goals for this year and ignore every other shiny opportunity. Rule number 16 is to create and protect your energy reserves. You are a human being and not a machine, and ignoring your limits leads to catastrophic mistakes. A lumberjack who never stops to sharpen his axe will eventually spend all his energy and cut very little wood. Take regular breaks and eat nutritious food, and ensure you get high-quality sleep every night. When your energy is full, you work more efficiently and make much better financial decisions. Sustainable wealth is built by people who have the energy to stay in the game for the long run. Rule number 17 is to rest with a specific and intentional purpose. Real rest recharges your mind, while fake rest, like scrolling through a phone, leaves you more tired than before. Rest means completely unplugging from all digital inputs. Take a long walk in nature without a podcast, or sit quietly in a room with a book. When you rest with purpose, you return to your work with fresh eyes and a sharp mind. The best ideas often come when the mind is at rest. Rule number 18 is to practice emotional detachment from physical objects. Memories live in your heart and in your soul, and not in your clutter. Keeping things just because they have sentimental value can quickly become a financial prison. The cost of storage and the burden of maintenance will eat your money, while the objects simply collect dust. Keep only 1 or 2 deeply meaningful items and let the rest go to someone who can truly use them today. Freedom is found in having nothing to lose and nothing to hide. Rule number 19 is to master the basics of money before chasing complexity. Most financial failures happen because people try to skip the fundamental steps. Master the simple art of spending less than you earn before you chase digital currencies or complex trading schemes. Financial basics are not exciting, and they will not make you popular at parties. But they work every single time, and they provide a safety net for your family. Build your wealth on a rock-solid foundation of saving and simple investing. Rule number 20 is to review your entire life every 6 months. Life changes constantly, and what once served you can quietly become a heavy burden. Spend 1 full day every half year auditing your subscriptions and your habits and your expenses. Remove the weeds from your financial garden before they have a chance to take over the flowers. This simple review prevents years of accumulated waste and keeps you aligned with your goals. These 20 rules are the sharp tools you need to cut the threads and set your financial giant free. You build true wealth by subtracting what is unnecessary so that the important things have space to grow. If you found value in these rules, please hit the subscribe button and like this video now. Your support helps us reach more people who are tired of the financial noise and ready for the truth. If you are still here, it means you are serious about changing your life. Comment the phrase, "I am in control," down below to let us know you are committed. Please share this video with at least one person you know who is struggling to find their path in this complex world. Remember that the richest life is not the fullest one, but the most intentional one. Thank you for being here today and for choosing a life of clarity and purpose. The journey to financial freedom starts with a single step, and that step is yours to take right now. I will see you in the next video as we continue to build a future that is both simple and prosperous. Take care of your mind and your money, and the rest will follow.